Hey comic book community, Long Box Love Affair here with a different type of video. Not really a haul video, but more one where I am seeking some advice from the comic book community. So as you may have seen in the CGC message boards or the announcements on social media, CGC has partnered or acquired JSA Collectibles, which is James Spence Authentication. Say that 10 times fast. So they are now going to be able to not just witness signatures, so you don't just have to go to the CGC booth and get a witness at a convention and have them see an artist or a writer sign their book, but now JSA will actually authenticate signatures that you've had done separately, that they may have not been witnessed. And that opens the doors for further authentication of your collectibles. And I have a whole bunch that are signed and, I've witnessed them. I've had them signed. I've bought them that way. But there is some gray area. This is a brand new announcement as of May 7th, 2024. They said that they were going to start taking these signatures for authentication. Here's my hope. I have some sketches too. I have some blank sketches that were done by artists, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with those sketches. So in a nutshell, JSA will authenticate up to 2 signatures on a book for about $25 before you factor in any membership discount. For me, for my membership, it comes to about $20 a book because I'm in the elite membership category I've signed up for. And so they will do autograph grading. They will verify and they will grade that autograph. I'm not quite sure what that means yet. There's definitely going to be grading of the book itself, but there's going to also be autograph grading. We'll see. We'll see. So JSA will do that, and there's a whole new label. So if you are being witnessed through the normal method, you'll still get that yellow label. It's slightly different, I believe, but it's still yellow. If you go through JSA for authentication, you get the yellow label with a black band on top, and it says something like JSA authenticated or something of that sort. Verifies that they've authenticated that signature. And there's also crossover. So it looks like they're doing CBCS crossover, which CBCS already has their own witnessing verification program. So really CGC is coming back into the market for this. They're trying to stake their claim. But things like this, this Walt Simonson sketch, I witnessed him do it. If they decline it, I'd be surprised. But books like this would be ones that I would send out to be authenticated by JSA. Maybe even this Wizard World program that has Andy and Adam Kubert's signature on. Chris Bacalo did some signatures on these awesome variant covers. So these are all ones I've had in my collection that I've held on to. I wouldn't send this one in. It's not really in great condition. It's more sentimental. So some of these I may send in, some of them I might not. But really, it just comes down to the sketch. And so let me tell you what CGC says about sketch verification. So if you have an autographed comic with a sketch on it, CGC says on their FAQ section of their website, JSA does not authenticate aftermarket sketches. So that's pretty clear. But it gets grayer as the statement goes on. If the autograph is authentic and it is determined that the sketch will negatively impact the overall grade of the comic will receive a CGC qualified green label. That's the green label of death. I do not want a green label. It usually is for like when things are cut out, affecting story or what have you. So if the sketch negatively impacts the comic, but how does the sketch negatively impact a comic? That's what I want to know. I'm not quite sure. Does someone very rough with their sketching? I don't know. I'd love your feedback on this. Alternately, if it is determined that the sketch will not negatively impact the grade of the comic will receive the CGC JSA authenticated autograph label. If the autograph is not genuine, the comic will receive the blue label. In all scenarios, the label text and grader notes will indicate the outcome of JSA's evaluation and state that the sketch is present on the comic. So let me show you some examples of the sketches I'm talking about. Blank cover sketch. I would think that this one would be a shoo-in for the yellow and the new label, the yellow and black label. It does not negatively impact the comic. There's no dents from the sketch. It is a Sharpie sketch from Walt Simonson. So I would think that would be the case. This one I'm not sure about. It is a blank-ish cover. It's a glossy cover, but it's a Human Torch done by Walt Simonson as well. Would this one negatively impact the cover? Another blank. Again, Walt Simonson. Was hoping to get these submitted, so I'm not sure if I need to fear the green label on any of those. There's two other examples that I want to show that might be trickier. So this one, Amazing Spider-Man #1, James Herron sketch and colored. They would verify his signature, but the sketch itself is a little messy in the terms of, and I think it's actually part of the sketch. I'll be completely honest. There's some ink there. There is, I think that's just in the bag. I could take that out. There was a little raised piece on the cover. I took that off. So the cover is beautiful, but because of the smatterings of that, would this get a green label? The back has some scuffs or what have you, probably from James Herron's studio, having these blanks piled up. But it's a rockin' sketch. I'm super excited for the sketch. You can see that it does kind of bleed through some of the inks because of the saturation. So this one, I'm not sure. Would this get a green label, or would you think that this gets the black and yellow label, that it would be authenticated and not damaging the book? Damaging is the word. Did this damage, is a blank cover damaged by a sketch? That is the question. One other set of books that I am not sure are these ones that I got off of Bob Camp's website, Bob Lab. So Bob Camp is one of the creators of Ren and Stimpy, and he does remarks on his books when he signs them. So he personalized it. I'm sure they would just write name on cover, but he signed it, and he did a sketch. So is this damaging? I don't think so. I don't think so. I had these pressed with the full intention of submitting to the CBCS. In the middle of having them pressed, they announced the JSA grading. So I would love to stick with CGC. You get a better deal in the grand scheme of things. But I don't want that green label. Another one. Another Ren and Stimpy. We got Mr. Horse. He's got a quote. But it's a pen drawing. So does that damage the book with the pen? It doesn't feel overly indented. You know, some artists could be heavy-handed. I don't know. You got Cinnamon Toast Man on this one, and then this one's really nice because it's almost it's a partial blank. So it was a blank cover with just the word bubbles. He drew these in, this, and he signed it. So I have no doubt that they would authenticate the signature, but are these damaged? Again, if it is determined that the sketch will negatively impact the overall grade of the comic, it will receive a CGC qualified green label. Do those sketches negatively impact the quality of the comic? Maybe, but it's a blank cover. So the internal pieces of the comic are fine. So, and the corners are sharp or what have you. Am I better off sending these to CBCS, especially for the art ones, and asking for an art label? I think you can do that on their verification program. I have to double check, and I meant to do that. Anyone who's done that for verified signatures, if you've done an art label, please let me know in the comments. But again, I would love to know what you all think about this language from CGC. There are no examples out there. It would be nice to have an example, especially as it comes down to sketches and people having these sketches in their arsenal, but just waiting for an avenue to have them graded. So that's my call to the community. I am appreciative of this opportunity to submit books, and I'm trying to figure out which ones I will send. I may send some off to get pressed before doing the submit. I may just test it out and send a couple to see, rather than throwing all of my eggs in one basket and getting green labels and then I should just have gone to CBCS at that point. So let me know what you think. Love to hear it. Write that in the comments. And hey, stay tuned. If this is your first video for Lombok Love Affair, hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. Helps with the algorithm. And I keep on putting out new content. I am doing more hauls. I have some CGC unboxing coming up. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you next time. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate all of your feedback in the comments. Bye-bye.